In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about why I don't invest in a 401k. This is just going to be some investment talk, and keep in mind, this is just my opinion about all this. We all sell on Amazon or eBay or somewhere else. We're trying to make money, and thinking about how to actually invest is super important, and how you're actually going to keep money in the long term rather than just spend it all. So for context, I am Checkmate Flips. I sell on Amazon as my full-time income. I am on track to probably make around 280K this year in profit. And so investing is important. And basically every single day I've been sharing with you my Amazon sales and my inventory lab profit for the day. But I'm pre-recording some videos because I'm going to be in Nashville and I still wanted to put out some content for you guys. So today we're talking about why I don't invest in a 401k. And so basically the reason for this, and I'm not saying that 401ks aren't a good way to do things. Basically to make it pretty blunt is if you're somewhat young and you have above average financial goals, and you're using money to make money, then putting money into an account where you're going to be penalized if you withdraw from it before you are of retirement age kind of makes no sense, because the point is to make money, whether it is a house that you're going to invest in, and invest is kind of a very debatable word when it comes to your primary residence. On the positive side, if that's what you're going to choose to do, your costs are going to be lower in your personal life if you choose to pay off a house in that way, or whether you choose to continue investing into your Amazon store or your business or some other business, or the S&P 500, or you give loans to people. There's a bunch of different ways that you can make money. And the idea as someone who is learning how to make money and in the self-employed business space, to just like not have access to your money until you're 59 or 60 or of retirement age just kind of makes no sense, because using money to make more money is a lot better than just like, oh, like I didn't pay taxes on like $6,000. Wow, like that's not that big of a deal. But like if you're using that money to make more money, assuming you're doing it well, that's gonna make you a lot of money in the long term. Because if you're trying to make money but you're not really using money to make money, then like you're not playing the game right. Like it takes some money to make money. Not in every case, obviously, but especially in Amazon, like if you have some money, that definitely does help boost your quote unquote hourly. So for me, I also haven't looked into getting a match. I don't know if there is a match for businesses or self-employed people. There probably is. Especially if you're kind of on salary and you're kind of just doing your thing, and like having a match from your employer, like that could be helpful, especially if you started young and you do that consistently. That's cool. But for me, I think what we're trying to do in our financial life is, like I'm only 31. That's relatively young. With a store that's making quite a bit of money. I'm not trying to wait until 59 and a half. I really like using money to make more money. So now if you're unfinancially disciplined, then you probably should put some money into retirement accounts and like check the balance every 6 months and just like don't touch it, act like you don't have anything, because at least it'll be invested, hopefully invested in some hopefully in something that you didn't have to do a ton of research on, like the S&P 500, and it should just generally grow over time. If you don't have good financial discipline, then just putting money in there and not thinking about it probably is a great strategy. But like as someone who's self-employed and a business owner and looking to be more of an investor, like you can give people loans, and that is more than the S&P 500. So am I gonna just throw all my money into an account that I can't touch until I'm 59 when I could be giving people loans to do real estate deals, or I could do real estate deals myself, or I could put it into Amazon inventory that is not at FBA, that's not at risk, and then sell quite passively. With that, like honestly, I think it's a no-brainer in my opinion. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious if you guys are interested in investing type topics alongside your Amazon store with what to do after you've made some money with this. Oh yeah, and the whole point of this too is this is a whole another complete point of like if you're young and you're making a good amount of money, self-employed or in a business or as an investor, like if you make enough money and you invest it in the right way, you can become work optional basically in a relatively short amount of time. It's the whole concept of if you invest a certain amount of money into the right things, you could either cut down the time that you have to spend on work, or you can make it completely passive. Like for example, if you had 500K in the S&P 500, people debate a lot about what's a safe withdrawal rate for that or how much growth that's actually going to give. But on the very generous side, people would say it might grow 10% a year, and that would be after inflation. That's very generous because a lot of people say it's a lot lower. But let's just say, for example, that's the case. If you had 500K invested in the S&P 500 and then you said inflation was 2% and 10%, it makes 10% after the inflation, so 12% a year. Again, I know that's on the very generous side. A lot of people would just really disagree with that. And I get that. I'm not sure if I quite agree with that, but for the example's sake, easy math, that's $50,000 a year that you could just take from that. And, $50,000 would make a lot of people work optional as long as your costs are pretty low. Or if you have a spouse working, or whatever the case may be, if you're self-employed or a business owner or an investor, you really can become work optional. And so if you're putting all your money into accounts that you can't take out until 59, I definitely want to be work optional at some point, semi soon. Not that I'm gonna not work, but basically having the choice to be work optional is a really good place to be, because then you're not dependent on anyone financially, and hopefully from there you can step into things that are more meaningful to you and to the world from there. So hopefully that's helpful. If you want to talk more about this, I'd love to reply to a comment from you down below. And we also have a free Discord group. I'd love to see you in there. If the link's not working, please just comment on there and I'll get you a correct link. But hope you have a great rest of the day and take care.